State Testing and Students with Disabilities by Hannah Hall, University of West Alabama, July 28, 2024. Identified problem. In the state of Alabama, all general education population students in grades 2nd through 8th grade are required to take the Alabama Comprehensive Assessment Program each spring. This includes students with learning disabilities. The ACAP assessment takes weeks to prepare for and then weeks to administer. This can pose several issues for students with disabilities. Valuable instruction time is taken away from students who already have large learning gaps. Moreover, these students require specially designed instruction and often lose this crucial instruction time as well. Students who already have high levels of stress and anxiety are put under more pressure to perform well. Hypothesis. I hypothesize that taking the pressure off of special education students to pass standardized assessments will help close their academic gaps and aid them in mastering their IEP goals. Data. The following graphic displays 2022 to 2023 ACAP scores by percentages of students in each group who tested proficient in the state of Alabama. As we can see from the data, only 9% of students with disabilities score proficient in math, 17% score proficient in English language arts, and 16% score proficient in science. This is compared to general education students who scored 33% proficient in math, 55% proficient in English language arts, and 42% proficient in science. Impact on student achievement. For educators, student achievement is the top priority. When it comes to special education students, teachers must measure achievement in many ways that cannot be measured on a standardized test. For one student, it may be staying in their seat for 5 minutes at a time, and for another student, it may be counting to 10. These are goals of students currently on my caseload. My students work diligently to master their IEP goals and close their academic gaps. When state testing rolls around, however, valuable instruction time is put on hold. This has a huge impact on student achievement, especially for students with disabilities. Not only does loss of instructional time negatively impact students, but it also heightens anxiety and stress, which hinders students' ability to focus and learn. Methodology. Introduction. With the correlation between special education students and the lack of proficiency on the Alabama Comprehensive Assessment Plan, we must examine whether it is necessary to require such students with learning disabilities to participate in the assessment. We will collect data and progress toward IEP goals over 2 years to determine if students who are not required to participate in ACAP make more progress toward their IEP goals and can close academic gaps faster than those who are required to take the assessment. The study will use a group of 35 special education students enrolled in Hughley Elementary over 2 school years. In Year 1, the group will be in grades 2nd through 4th. In Year 2, the same group of students will be in grades 3rd through 5th and will be divided into 3 subgroups. Population. Hughley Elementary is a pre-K through 5th grade school. However, only 2nd through 4th graders with IEPs will participate in this study. This group was chosen because students do not participate in the Alabama Comprehensive Assessment Plan until 2nd grade, and since this study will take 2 years to complete, 5th graders will move to the middle school during Year 2. There will be 35 participants at the start of this study. Sample. The 35 participants will be divided into 3 subgroups during Year 2 of the study. Each group will have 15 students of mixed grade levels. The first year of the study, these students will be in grades 2nd through 4th. These students will be in grades 3rd through 5th in the second year of the study. Sample technique. The sampling technique is simple random to ensure that the subset groups are not biased in any way. A random generator will be used to place each student in one of the 3 subset groups. The first name selected will be placed in Group 1, the second name will be placed in Group 2, etc. Role of participants and impact on participants. In Year 1, all students in the study will take the ACAP assessment as normal. They will be given their accommodations per their IEP, but they will take the assessment as required by the state of Alabama. In Year 2, the students will be randomly divided into 3 subgroups. The first subgroup will participate in the ACAP assessment as normal, just as they did in Year 1. They will be given their accommodations per their IEP. The second subgroup will participate in the ACAP assessment, but will be tested on their academic level, not on their grade level. The third subgroup will not take the ACAP assessment. Instead, they will use the time spent preparing for and participating in the assessment to focus on their IEP goals and closing academic gaps. Plan for protection of human subjects. The research being conducted does not pose any danger or harm to participants. To ensure that student confidentiality and their data are protected, parents and guardians will be asked to give consent for their minor to participate. No student names will be used in the study, as they will be given a number at random to be identified. Variables. The dependent variable in this study is the data collected from IEP goal progress of special education students in grades 2nd through 4th grade at Hughley Elementary School. This data is expected to be impacted by the independent variable, which is the participation in the ACAP assessment. Timeline. This study will take 2 years to complete, as we will be conducting and collecting data over 2 ACAP assessment periods. In the first year of the study, all special education students at Hughley Elementary School will participate in the ACAP assessment. In the second year of the study, the students will be randomly divided into 3 subgroups, some of which will participate in the assessment and some of which will not. Constitutive and operation definitions. The ACAP is the Alabama Comprehensive Assessment Plan that students in grades 2nd through 8th grade are required to take in the state of Alabama. An IEP is the Individualized Education Plan that is written for special education students. All 35 students participating in the study have IEPs. The 3 subgroups in Year 2 will be assigned the titles of SPED 1, SPED 2, and SPED 3. This will help keep track of each group's data in progress. Description of data. Data from the ACAP assessment from Years 1 and 2 will be collected after the assessment is complete. IEP goal data will be collected during Year 1 and Year 2 through multiple means of data collection, depending on their goals and needs. This data will determine if there's a correlation between loss of special education service time during ACAP testing and failure to meet IEP goals. Reliability and validity of instrument. The ACAP is an assessment that all 2nd through 5th grade elementary school students take each spring. This assessment will be used to collect and analyze data. The ACAP is a reliable source of measurement that the state of Alabama has adopted to measure student achievement each year. Student IEP data will also be used to measure growth and the closure of academic gaps. The same state assessment will be administered during the first school year for all special education students. The next school year, one group will take the same assessment as their grade level peers, some will take the assessment according to their academic levels, and some will not take it at all. During both school years, students will receive special education services given by highly qualified certified teachers. During the second year, one group will continue receiving special education services as normal during the weeks their peers take the ACAP. There will be a large enough sample to account for absenteeism and other factors that might affect the study. Limitations. Many limitations or outside inferences might interfere with improved student achievement, such as hardships faced outside of school. These hardships, such as violent home life, disabled caregivers, chronic absenteeism, and lack of basic needs, including but not limited to food, housing, clothing, basic hygiene, and transportation. Next steps. Analyze data. Interpret the results in the context of my research questions and objectives. Next, final report. Present final findings. Then, review and reflect. Reflect on what worked well and what could be improved in future research projects. Final, plan future research. Identify new research questions or projects that have emerged from my findings. References. References continued.